Okay, so, right? Am I right? All right, so pretty much, here's what's going on. So the phrase "that's fake," when someone hears of a concept, and based on everything that they've accepted as reality, they say, based on my combination of concepts to make my reality real, that's impossible. And this guy's all like, "Hey, I made a functional existence compressed within a cardboard box and some foil, and I made a pixel system and it actually works." And they go, based on everything that I know, that's impossible. Boom. Now these two guys, their concepts clash, right? This guy's rules of concept versus this guy's rules of concept. And those rules of concepts, they go into the logical chamber and they fight each other, right? And ultimately, the result of this fight, of these concepts clashing, eliminating one another, is what decides reality. I should have drew that here. It's what decides occurrence, right? That's what decides occurrence, right? So, here's what goes on, right? These guys have accepted a limitation via no one. They probably, okay, so they started off with, you can't do that, I can, right? Which then turned into no one can do it, because it was determined unfair for these guys to be able to do something that no one else could, especially when they were taking advantage of others. And so that corrupts them into this is state. And what is, it's non-concept mass. It's non-concept occurrence. Even though this is still the concept of a pen, is whenever you remove all concepts and say only what is physically there is real. And so because they rely on is, and they start breaking down the rules to be is, these guys have a mass restriction that prevents them from being able to comprehend or experience the idea of a compressed existence within a cardboard box, right? And so they say, it's not possible because I can't do it. Boom, I can't see it being possible. And that isn't what's happening. We have to respect is. We have to respect is. The concept of a pen doesn't become real until someone knows what the concept of a pen is, right? But they don't respect that. They don't respect that. They say it still needs to be possible. All right. And so they take this and they say only what I know, only what's within my structure, it's what's possible. That's is. Nothing else is possible except for what is for me. And so they go and they say, they create a moment, right, in which their concept, and this is what happens, right? So guys like me, right, where we're like fucking geniuses, right, and we like understand everything, right? They say that we like pretty much realize, okay, I get what's going on. This guy's one of those you can't do it but I can guys, and if he ever figures out that any of this shit is real, then he's gonna start fucking doing dumb shit like robbing banks or fucking having sex with people while time is frozen, or fucking raping people while he's invisible or some shit, and I can't be responsible for that. And so the concept says, look, hey, we all know this is real. We know that you're real, but this guy right here, he can't. Because he's gonna fucking do dumb shit, and that's gonna violate the whole system for everybody. So whenever he's around, and he's choosing for it not to be real, and that causes an occurrence collision that prevents it from happening, just to keep further corruption from occurring, then you're just gonna have to accept for those moments while that guy's choosing for it not to be real, that it doesn't work. Even though we've all seen it work. And then this guy will probably go, he's just talking, he's just making this shit up, it's fake, oh, this guy's fucking fake, and he's just saying a bunch of shit to make it seem like it's real, But we also know that anything this guy can figure out on his own and do, he'll keep a secret, and he'll constantly make sure that nobody else can do it. And that's why existence is pretty much keeping everything from him. That's why he's existing within a remasked cycle. He has a mass restriction. And that he is not capable to make his ideas real without them being attached to his mass. Things that already exist. Even though they were all ideas before they existed. Things that already exist. And so yeah, if you don't believe what I'm saying, just know that every time you choose for what I'm doing not to be real, I have to make political decisions to not allow you to corrupt things. Because here's what happens, like, so you're like this, right? You have a bunch of systems, right? And the system is, if you connect this to this, it creates this, right? Even though that was just a fucking idea that somebody obviously just put effort into until it was real, right? But no, you don't respect that. If this isn't happening, then this can't occur, right? And so you go and you see some shit, right? Like you see me like flying, and that, like I said, that like breaks your mind. Like your whole concept structure, right? At that point, your whole concept structure goes like what is real? What is this? And then you start running around crazy, and you're like fucking like, none of this is real anymore. And you start killing people, and you start being like, I can do anything. And you start, you start robbing banks, and you go invisible, and you freeze time, and you start having sex with people, because that's usually what these guys do whenever their mind breaks, right? And that's why it's more important for the concept to stay hidden until they can respect it enough. And I might even get into a little trouble for this video. But yeah, that's pretty much why creative mode isn't working for everyone. Because we have too many you can't, I can guys, which is just win-lose. And if these guys ever saw it with that attitude, they would keep themselves in the they can while nobody else can, and use that to just take advantage of the environment. And stuff like that is always corrupting creative mode, which is why we have to deal with this thin mass, which isn't really thin. It's just a further reach than they can comprehend with their small mass, with their restriction of mass. And what mass is how much something has. Remember, how much concept something has before it's real. You know what I mean? How much concept it has that it actually exists. That's what mass is. Yeah. And so, these guys, I just got attacked again. They just, hold on. They just did this on me. They just did this because they want to be the ones who can do it. They don't care. Like, every time I explain this to them, they don't care. They just want me to explain to them why they can't do it so that they can go back into being the only ones who can, like, fly and become invisible so that they can rape people. And that's why it's my job to just fucking deal with it. To just fucking do it.